Well, I'll tell you what, the market really knows how to keep us on the edge of our seats. Wait until you see the technicals for SPY, QQQ, the outperformance that we got yesterday in IWM, and how all of that's shaping up. We'll give an update on Nvidia, Bitcoin, and XRP as well in this video. So check out the technicals that I have here. I took away a lot of the lines and stuff and kept around some of the moving averages. What we got yesterday, and as a candlestick, was a hangman candlestick. And well, I got to tell you, in and of itself, I don't know that we're necessarily losing that momentum, that we see that dip during the day, but we did close up above the 609.83 that I talked about. It is really critical that we watch and see what shapes up today. And if we find support along these previous tops that we have breaking down below those, we want to watch out for the 20-day and the 50-day. We need to see a breakup above this last candle that we saw here to maintain that bullishness. We want to see it keep going. The RSI on the daily chart, very strong for us. If we go to a weekly chart, the little bit of concern that I have here, well, actually, there's several points of concern. One, look at the price rise that we've had and the momentum drop off that we've had. That's bearish divergence that we're watching for. So I think that this is one of those times that we should be cautiously bullish about what it is that we're going to see from here. So today could once again be another critical day and watching what's shaping up for the S&P 500 and for the Nasdaq 100. And then we'll also talk, like I said, about the Russell 2000 stocks. But absolutely watch and see for what's happening. Are we going to hold on to this level that we have, or is it something where we're going to break down through support and start going back down and retesting things? We're just going to have to watch and see. That whole support and resistance game is absolutely critical to pay attention to at this point. So going back to the daily chart for SPY, yesterday closing up at 611.49 in the pre-market hours. We're still at 611, so we're in really good shape. We don't want to see too much give back during the day today, maybe as far as about 608.50 or so, but we do want to see that we're either trading sideways or moving upward. Too much retracement, and well, then we start to worry a little bit. So right now, still green lights but I would say they have a little bit of an amber glow to them as we watch for them. We need to look and see what happens from here. From this point that we have, we're up above 609.83. Good. We need to continue that push upward to see further bullishness. And I know that sounds sort of obvious, but definitely staying inside this rising wedge, staying up above this support. Those are all good things for us. Staying up above the 20-day, also good things. Need to keep on watching that. And if I bring up the EMAs for just a moment, you can see we actually came down. We touched the 5-period EMA yesterday and then found support. So being up on top of these, riding these moving averages is actually a very bullish thing. We want to keep watching for that. It's when we start to dangle off of those moving averages, especially these near-term ones, that we actually want to start being concerned. Right now, we're still in good shape. Let's watch and see what the day brings for us. And then another hangman candlestick that we have, a much more defined one, in my opinion, for what we had for the Nasdaq 100, tracked by QQQ. Definitely would be on the lookout for that. What happens the next day? If we trade lower today, then we got to be concerned with where we find support. If we instead break up higher, then we don't even have to worry about this candle at all. We should be in good shape with those green lights for the Nasdaq 100. We did close up above the 539.15 at yesterday, 539.37. So even though we got a red candle where the close was lower than the open, we still made a small gain, about a 0.25% gain over the previous day's trading. We had about a 0.5% gain for what we see with IWM closing up above the 50 and the 20. So always a good thing. Getting a bit of a rejection in the pre-market this morning. Want to stay up above this trend line that I have drawn on here for you once again to see further bullishness from where we're positioned right now. So getting up on top of that 50-day, solid candle up on top of that 50-day, up on top of the 20-day is going to do us a lot of good for seeing more upside to the Russell 2000 stocks ETF here, IWM. If instead we get rejected off of those, as the pre-market might be suggesting, we got to watch this trend line, watch 225.32. If we lose that ground, we could be potentially looking at the 200-day down below that. For Nvidia, we are right in the middle of this choppy zone that we have from the previous highs. So yesterday had a nice little peak for Nvidia, popping off up to 143.44 before settling down to close just below 140. And so just watch for this leading up into earnings 1 week from today in the after hours. Also, if you don't mind hitting the subscribe button, what you will get is during this week, my Nvidia stock price prediction, my Nvidia earnings projection coming up for this most recent quarter. And we'll talk about some of the concerns and some of the considerations that might keep Nvidia from doing a massive run leading up to their earnings and what might cause them to be a little bit indecisive as we reach that point in time. So let's move over to Bitcoin from there. Bitcoin, we got a trend line going right across these tops, and hopefully today is that day that we push up above it. And you can see we also have 3 touches now for support, given what we saw yesterday in trading with the low price that we got on Bitcoin, briefly dipping below 95,000, coming all the way down to about 93.3. That third point makes the trend line that you can see across the bottom of these. It does matter for this sort of consolidation which way we go. We're down below the 20 and the 50. We're pushing down against support. The bears are really trying to take some ground here. We want to stay up above 95 if we can, 95,413, and stay up above this thick trend line that you see here. If instead we break down below the consolidation pattern, down below this trend line that you see more recently, more near term, and this longer term trend line, that's where we can really count on some bearishness to come in, at least in the short term, for Bitcoin breaking up above this top trend line. That we still have to contend with the moving averages that are showing near term weakness in Bitcoin's price action. So we're kind of stuck in the middle of things, if you will, for Bitcoin. There is some breakout moment. I swear it. Just keep watching for it. We're probably going to find out in the next couple of days here. So over to XRP. When we look at XRP, once again, another consolidation pattern taking place. Just like what we saw with Bitcoin, it matters with the 20 and the 50-day. It matters with this buying zone where we keep on finding that support coming in. It matters with this consolidation pattern that we have. Once again, breaking through the top side of that retesting as support, that's bullish. Watch out for 340. If instead we break down through the bottom part of this, that's bearish. And then we've got to watch out below. Lots of buying pressure coming in under $2 per XRP token. And we also have that 200-day creeping up on us, nearing about 143 to 144. So we also have that coming in as long-term support for us, still showing that we're in a long-term bullish trend for XRP, according to the daily chart, according to the 200-day. So guys, I would say that we're not in the clear yet for that next leg up. If we break out, if we beat those hanging man candles that we saw and we trade up today, that would refute the hanging man candle. And then that would also refute a reversal. At least it would delay it for another day, if you will, and it signals that we could continue going in a bullish direction. And so we want to watch for that. If instead we sell down strongly today, that could confirm that hanging man candle, and then we could sell off further from there. And then we have to watch for those different supports that we saw, whether it's moving averages or trend lines. And then that could also be something that affects the market, about the stocks within the market itself, besides just the stocks that are part of each of those indices. And then for Bitcoin, I gave those supports. We really need to watch and see Bitcoin and XRP for which way we break out of those consolidation patterns, because that's going to determine the next near-term direction that we get from each of those in the crypto space. And Bitcoin still being the top by market cap can really have a lot of influence on all the altcoins that are down below it. Guys, thank you very much for watching. Check out the link in the description for the Patreon if you would like to see my buys and sells and my technical analysis. Talk to me and my community members. Sign up for the Discord. Sign up for Patreon. Head on over to the Discord, and that's where you'll find everything. And then also look for that link for Stockmo Academy to learn to do technical analysis yourself, and also a technical analysis trading strategy known as the bread recipe, developed by Stockmo. Personal friend of mine, he used that strategy. I use that strategy. I got to tell you, not only do we think that is top notch, but also the people signing up for that course post their testimonials about the success that they're having with it, oftentimes covering the cost of the course in as little as one trade. And you guys can get that course cheaper by using the code word DOCTOR, DOCTOR, when you sign up. Again, those links down in the description. Thank you very much for watching. I am Dr. Stock, Doctor of Education. Remember, my friends, that learning is earning. We'll see you next video.